Welcome back to the Lucid Business Podcast. I'm your host, Austin Tynes. I got some great things I want to talk about with you guys today. But first, I want to clarify some things about episode one. I know it was just a short kind of introduction clip and a brief overview of what we were going to be discussing throughout the entire, journey here, or at least, just a snippet. But I never meant average in a bad way. At the end of the day, it's what makes you happy. That is wealth, right? So the whole white picket fence thing, the American dream, that is great. That's amazing for most people. And, all I was trying to say is there's something wrong about me, something different about me that makes me want more. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but there's something different about me that makes, and a lot of people, it's not just me, but it's just wanting different things in life, right? So I never meant average in a derogatory way. It's just wanting different, things in life, different forms of wealth. I have a great family, and they are all very happy with their lives and loving and have great situations, and that is a beautiful thing. So I never meant that in a derogatory way. That's thing number one. Now I'm going to kind of flip on the other side of that, on my side. Today I'm going to talk about another, part of, progression and the strive for success that a lot of people don't talk about. And that is, it can get lonely. For instance, I'm 24 years old and I go and work 11, 12 hours a day. And then I come home and, half the week, or at least I'm working on, extracurriculars, trying to help teach myself things at home, right? I don't have a huge social life. Yeah, I'm social and I have friends at work, but other people my age in town are going to bars, or going to the casino, they're going to concerts and to parties, and I can't say I don't do that every now and then, but something's got to give. There's only so many hours in the day, and if you're someone like me who doesn't love to get up at 4 or 5 a.m. like someone like Jocko Willink, that's one thing I'm working on, is getting up earlier. But if you're someone like me who isn't the biggest fan of waking up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., like one of my sales managers, Bo knows, over at Carter County Dodge, he gets up at 4 a.m. every morning, works out. That isn't necessarily my style. Maybe it will be as I mature. But for me, I only have so many hours in the day, so that's not my style. So I have to sacrifice some things in life. Now, as I get a family, I'm sure that'll change. I don't know when that'll be, obviously. That's another point is, you lose out on some of those things. There's times, especially during this pandemic, where I've been so focused on trying to become successful and trying to build, build a foundation and, build on top of it, that I've forgotten the human part of myself. And I think that's the case for a lot of people during the pandemic, but especially if you're grinding every day, every hour, damn near trying to build something, it can get very lonely. They say it's lonely at the top. Well, it's lonely trying to get to the top, because not a lot of people share the same ambition. And if they have the same goals, they're usually not enacting, or they're not enacting. They're not acting on those goals to try to accomplish what they're wanting to. So it can be very lonely on the climb to the top. And, I see it all the time, people quitting, people not pushing through because they get lonely. There's times where I've thought to myself, what the heck am I doing? Because everyone else is, or not everyone, but a lot of people my age have a wife, have a fiance, have kids, and are enjoying that part of their life. But for me, I'm personally not ready for that. There's times where I want it, and I would love to, have a kid to go to their ball games, or, T-ball, be that age, right? But I would have had to start early. But there's times where I want those things. There's times where I want to come home to somebody. But there's also times where I'm glad that I come home and I get to do the things that I want to do and learn the things that I want to learn, and not have to answer to somebody. And that's part of, the double-edged sword. What is it, Occam's razor? that's part of it, is having to deal with those things. So you're going to see people like Dan Bilzerian and, people who live these fancy lifestyles and, these ultra Gary V's. I mean, I think he has a family. I know Gary V, I think he has a family, but I don't think Dan Bilzerian does. If he is, he's hiding it very well. But a lot of people, that's what they don't show is, yeah, you may, be wanting to live this rock star life and be putting all these hours, and they say you got to work every waking hour of the day, but we are human, and it does take a toll on your mentality. Today, I had a slower day today. I had a day, luckily I love cold weather, and it was cold here in Oklahoma, and I was able to go out and, be on the lot at work and, not have to stay cooped up inside. And thank goodness I have a job where I can do that, because it was one of those days where, the grind was taking a toll on me. Which brings me to my next point. If this was 3 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to handle that. I would have been in a much darker place. It's a one-day thing. It's a couple-hour thing. Today, 3 years ago, that sets me back 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because I don't know how to deal with that mental strain, with that, I don't want to say depression, but that mental strain and that, being exhausted and just not feeling like you're able to move. That would have set me back 3 weeks a few years ago. But because I've gone through so much and I pushed myself so hard, and in a good way, not in a way that I'm not pushing myself in a way to, help others who aren't helping me back or aren't reciprocating, or, it's not one of those cases. I'm developing myself as much as possible and learning as much as possible. So I've built the mental calluses to not have to worry about, the mental fatigue as much as I used to. And a lot of people don't let themselves build that up. They just let it beat them down. Like I said in episode 1, it's going to take time to progress. And over that progression, you're going to feel yourself, and you're going to see yourself be able to take more, to endure more, to be able to take on more responsibility. That's why I ask for more responsibility now, because I know it makes me grow. At the dealership, I'm always asking for things to help with, even if it's not my responsibility, not in my area. I want to help out because I know that makes me better, and I know that that knowledge is going to help me later. With skills in life. But you have to build that mental stamina, that mental callus, and you have to, be able to stop that mental fatigue to a certain degree. And, that's where a lot of people nowadays fail, is we just don't have to go through as much in life. We have it easy. Yeah, we have it hard in some aspects. It's easy to be online bullied. It's easy to, there's a lot of things that I can get into. But we have things so easy in life. We don't have to go hunt for our own food. We don't have to, load up on jackets. We have AC. We have heaters. We have, the internet that helps us with everything. We don't have to research for a whole lot of stuff. We Google something that's right at our fingertips. So we don't get uncomfortable. We don't get uncomfortable, and that never lets us grow. If you're a bodybuilder, or if you're lifting weights and you're trying to get stronger, you're trying to build muscle, you have to put strain on those muscles in order for them to grow. It's the same thing with your mind. Obviously, it's not a muscle, but it's the same thing as, as your muscles. It's the same, theory. It's the same expectation. It's the same practice. I'm running out of words to say here because I had a lot of concussions in high school, so forgive me on that. I'm just trying here, okay? I'm trying. But it's the same things. For lifting weights, it's the same thing for going through life and trying to upgrade the software. Is same thing as upgrading the hardware, right? So a lot of people go through life too comfortable. I find myself guilty of wanting to just lay down and watch Netflix or play video games, but that's too comfortable. Ordering DoorDash instead of cooking, going out to dinner instead of cooking, things like that. I've recently started meal prepping because I'm trying to get healthier. Things like that, little things like that, help you with discipline. That's a big area that I may work hard, but I don't have the greatest discipline. That's an area that I'm really trying to work on and that I'm really lacking in. Meal prepping every day, going to the gym every day, staying, vigilant with my diet. I think that's the word for it. If it's not, whatever. Staying vigilant with my diet, making sure that I'm on top of it every day, eating the right things. I've been all over I've lost and gained 60, 70 pounds 4 times in my life. So discipline is an area that I need to work on. And I'm more so capable of doing that now because I'm not up and down as much anymore mentally. I'm able to lock in on the things that I need to, but that has come with time of purposely, intently trying to develop myself, my self-worth, my mind, my skill sets, which all come together as a conglomeration. Again, I'm not good with words, guys. I'm not good with words. So just forgive me if I get any of these wrong. I'm not Eminem, okay? But over time, I've had to build this mental stamina, and I'm going to keep building it because you have to. You have to, put yourself in uncomfortable positions. I have a tattoo, my forearm tattoo. I don't know if you guys can see it from here. I got it about 5 years ago in Nebraska when I lived in Omaha, Nebraska. The tattoo says, doubt is only removed by action. When you're not working, that's when doubt sets in. So let's break that down. What does that mean? Doubt is only removed by action. When you're not working, that's when doubt sets in. So when you're not preparing yourself, you're not confident, you start doubting yourself. If, let's say Tom Brady, because he's one of the best football players, if not the best football player of all time, one of the best athletes of all time. If Tom Brady wasn't so prepared for every single game, if he hadn't looked over every coverage that he's seen thousands of times, 10,000s of times, he wouldn't be so confident to make a read, make a play. I mean, he's one of the best winners of all time, and there's a reason for it, because he prepares. He wouldn't be so confident if he didn't prepare so much. People call him cocky. People call Michael Jordan cocky. People call LeBron James cocky. Not as much LeBron, but people call Michael Jordan cocky. That's because he was so damn confident in his preparation and his work ethic. So when you're not working, then you start doubting yourself. If you're not doing the right things that you know you should be doing, you're not going to be confident in yourself and your abilities. The next line of my tattoo, it says, the more you seek the uncomfortable, the more you'll become comfortable. The more you seek uncomfortable, the more you'll become comfortable. What were we just talking about? You have to step outside your comfort zone. If you don't step outside your comfort zone, you're going to live a life of ease. You're not going to grow. You're going to get lazy. You're going to get compliant. You're going to get, again, I'm losing words here, but you're going to not grow. You're not going to progress in your life, not at the rate that you would like, at least. So when you're staying comfortable, you're not growing. When you step outside your comfort zone purposefully, like I mentioned that I moved away and knew I needed to get kicked in the teeth to figure some crap out, that's part of it. You have to do it. You have to step out. You have to do things that you're not comfortable with. Now, I don't interpret that in a bad way, but you have to go do things that you might not know how to do is what I'm trying to say. Don't feel forced into anything. That's not what I mean. But go out, take your time to learn some things that you might not have ever thought about doing, right? If let's say this, if your manager asks you to do something that's not in your job description, obviously within reason, to pick up a little extra responsibility, do it, learn it. Do it, because it's only going to look good, and then you're going to learn how to do it. You're going to know how to do that for the rest of your life. You learn an extra skill, you become more valuable to the company, and then maybe later on that'll help you get a promotion if you want to stay there, or it'll help you go somewhere else with experience, put it on a resume, right? So you have to become uncomfortable. You stay uncomfortable, then you're going to constantly keep learning. And the last part of the tattoo says, when you're about to quit, remember why you started. Now you can take this in a multitude of a range, but the interpretation that's closest to me, most people don't just fully quit something in life, right? So you can interpret it that way, before you quit playing football or before you quit, whatever. Remember why you started, right? I interpret it a little differently, a little more applicable to everyday common life. when you're about to quit on, learning a lesson, when you're about to, stop and procrastinate, remember why you started. Remember your why. When you're about to, put that book down because, you're tired of reading, because you're tired of learning for the day, you just want to watch Netflix. Whenever you, are not going to go to the gym, whenever you're going to skip the gym, whenever you're going to skip a class, whatever the case may be, whenever you're not going to put that effort into, your business, whenever you're not going to put in that extra hour overtime at work, whenever you're not going to put in that extra date night with your wife or your girlfriend, whatever the case may be, before you quit, remember why you started. Remember why you're doing this in the first place. You're going out on date nights because you love your wife or your husband. You're going out on date nights because you love your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You're going to put in that extra hour of overtime because you need to pay your bills. You need to take care of your family. You need to save. You need to invest. My fingers, I can't do all that. You need to invest. You need to take care of your family, take care of your future. So why not go get that time and a half? Why not make that extra sale? Why not do those extra things? Why not take your spouse out on one extra date? Treat them well before you just get lazy. It's those things that are going to carry you and going to help you stay moving forward and keep momentum in your life and not get stagnant. Now, that's just a few of those. That's just a few things that are going to help you, but they will help you keep momentum going and not stop and stagnate. Now, it's a funny story because before I even started helping myself at all, I got these tattoos. And just needed some sort of motivation in my life. And it's funny. I believe in the laws of attraction. So if you have to work towards it. You have to put some amount of work towards it. But if you believe that something's going to happen and you prepare yourself and work for it, good things are going to start happening in your life. Whether it's exactly what you want, close to it, or just, something completely different that takes you by surprise. Right? So I put that on my body. It's the only tattoo I have. When I was 19 years old, I think I was around 19. It's fun. You start manifesting things in your life, and you start getting happier. You start feeling more accomplished. You start feeling more prideful. I had someone tell me once, if you start living with some pride, then you'll have some. If you start living with some pride, you'll have some. So you start taking care of your things. Start cleaning your house, making sure it's clean before you go, making your bed, doing that extra assignment, going on that extra half-mile walk, or mile walk, doing that extra little bit, doing that extra set in the gym, doing those little extra things. You start having some pride in your life and not being lazy. You're gonna have pride in yourself. You take care of your cars. You're gonna feel pride in yourself. Right? You don't want to pick anyone up for a date in a dirty car. You don't want to bring somebody to your house for the first time and it'd be a dirty house. I mean, why do you think, old school moms, kept such a clean home? Because their home was their pride. Their family was their pride. That was them. Now, I'm not saying that new school moms aren't like that, but my point is you've all been to someone's house and their house is, extremely clean. You've had your mom or your dad make you clean your house, make you clean the house, make you clean your room spotless before the guests came over. There's a reason that they want to feel pride in their house. They want people to see their house like they see their house, their home. So you should want people to see you for what you can be. I know we're empowering and, making people want to feel good about themselves nowadays, and that's great. Building confidence is great. But also, you can't do it to a point where it's detrimental to their growth. You can't put a stunt on their growth by telling them that they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. When they may be great, but they can be greater. And that's one of the biggest crimes about today's society is we want to tell everybody that they're amazing. Well, everybody has the potential to be amazing, but not everybody's amazing. I'm not amazing. Now, hopefully on my deathbed, I can look back and say I was pretty damn awesome. And hopefully people can think that way about me, think I was a fantastic person, that I was driven, liked it, that I was successful and wanted and gave back. And, that's part of the reason I do these things, is to give myself freedom to, a lot of people think it's about money. It's not about money. It's about freedom. Freedom is the only currency. Freedom and time are the only currencies that matter in this world. You take money, it buys time. It buys freedom. You work 9 to 5 and, you make minimum wage. You're a slave to that company. You're a slave to your bills, right? You still work for a company. Even if you make 6 figures, you still work for that company. No matter how much you may love the company, like I love my company, I still work for that company. My time is theirs majority of the time. I want to own a dealership eventually. I want to, again, I'll still be working then, obviously, but I'll have more of my own freedom and more of my own time. And that's what matters. Time matters. Freedom matters. Being able to do what you want when you want. Being able to take a vacation with your family when you want. I want to be able to be there for my kids' games when I have games. To be there for their recitals or whatever the case may be. Be there for my wife whenever she needs something. And not have to be at work 10 hours a day and not have to ask to take off for my kids' football or basketball or baseball game and then get told no by my boss. Because, there's bosses that'll let you get off, but there's also bosses that'll tell you that you can go, shove it somewhere. We know that's true. So currency, the only 2 currencies that matter in life, freedom and time. Money, like dollars, Bitcoin, whatever. Wealth is just a gateway to those things. It's just a vessel to get you to that destination of freedom and time. So I know I'm kind of, veering off from where we started, but a couple very important things, again, that we discussed earlier, becoming strong mentally. Now, we're going to get into more depth later on, how you can do these things, because I'm going broad stroke right now. But I want you guys to, come along with me and learn these things as I go, because I'm going to learn new things and I'm going to relay them to you guys. I'm not a finished product. I'm just someone who wants to share my experience with you guys and being able to learn and grow and be confident and become a chameleon and learn from people. Hopefully you can learn some stuff from me, because I guarantee you a lot of what I do and what I say now, I've learned from somebody in the past few years or in my life in general. I say the last few years because that's been the majority of my growth. So I want to help you guys, and that's what it's all about. I want to help other people find their footing, find their confidence, and become successful. That's my goal in life, is to become successful and help others achieve their dreams. Until next time.